Welcome, everyone, to the Service Lounge. I am your host, Brandon Nixon, and with me today, we have a fellow Chief Revenue Officer on the call, Mark Begley from DealerOps. Mark, thank you for joining on, and how are you doing today, man?
Absolutely freaking fantastic. I don't think it gets much better than that, right? It's a new year, it's a new day, let's get rolling.
Exactly. It's 2026. We're finally here, and I think a lot of people, especially in automotive, were just waiting for 2025 to be over. Which is funny because 2025 to 2026 is just a day and a number, but it feels like it's brand new and all of that. So super excited to have you on. You are officially our first of the new year on. So I told the
Perfect.
audience that we'd bring in some high calibers, and I got you. So this is
So it only gets better from here, right?
perfect. Exactly. Well, again, Mark, appreciate you jumping on. And for those listening on, do you mind? Can you give just a high level background of yourself, where you came from, your experience in automotive, and what you're doing now with Dealer Ops?
Sure. So, and again, appreciate you having me, Brandon. It's always great to, I love the industry conversations, talking about where we're coming from, because it really lays into my background. I actually started in school and college as a computer scientist way back in 1984, well beyond before you ever thought of.
Yeah.
There weren't many computers to be, a scientist about at that time. Got into the car business, managed stores. I ran stores for 30 years, 7 years as a fixed operations director, seven as an F&I director, the rest of it as a general manager. And then I consulted the industry for another 6 years. And whenever I left the automotive world, it was to run a DMS company. I was a director of sales at a major DMS company for a little over 10 years. And I came to DealerOps because DealerOps allowed me to take the data from the DMS, match it up with the car dealerships that I loved, and also the computer data that I originally started off in school at. So
Yeah.
it's a perfect merge of all those technologies and thoughts and data come together for allow me to kind of do what I do, and that is to kind of to have conversations about what can we do with that information, because again, the data itself isn't what is most critical. It's what you do with that data.
Yep.
I tell everybody that knowledge isn't power. The use of knowledge is power. So let's take that information. Let's go do something with it. So I hope that's my background lends itself very well to the automotive industry. Love having the conversations about it.
Yeah, no, awesome. Well, and you bring up a great topic, especially in your background, right? You worked for a major DMS, and you saw firsthand how the data, especially from the DMSs, can be so convoluted and confusing for managers, especially, your experience as a fixed operations manager in the past, right? Like, how do you absorb that data correctly and then put actionable items on it, which is what I love about what you guys are doing here at Dealer Ops. So I appreciate you being in the position of all of your experience to really just propel the industry moving forward. So that's awesome. That's awesome.
Wow. And again, you bring up the point about the DMS, and I look at the DMS as kind of like a cash register. It has all the transactions and it has all that information in there. How do you get to it? What do
Yeah.
you do with it? How do you use that to help other individuals in your organizations or to make the customer experience better? So,
Yeah.
again, it's a great point of conversation.
Love it. Love it. So speaking of data, with your time that you've been at Dealer Ops and pretty much how 2025 has gone, where's the industry at, right? What were the main struggles, maybe accomplishments that you saw in automotive, or especially around fixed operations in 2025? And then where do you think the industry is going in 2026? What do you think is really going to be the forefront of everybody's focus for fixed operations specifically?
Well, and again, I think that's a tremendous conversation starter right there. And the reason
Yeah.
is because 2025, so many world events that have gone on, so
Yep.
many industry events that have gone on. Again, the transition to EVs, away from EVs,
Yeah.
transitions of consolidations of stores, and now they're expanding. So there's a lot of things that are going in the automotive world that takes our attention away from the day-to-day operations. But how do we run it more like a business? So 2025, I think, let dealers kind of wind down from those COVID. We didn't have any inventory. Interest
Yep.
rates were really, really high. So how do people afford their car notes anymore? How do we continue to sell product at a reasonable rate for everyone to be able to consume?
Yep.
So we've kind of transitioned through that a little bit and utilizing data, people are noticing that, okay, it's starting to level out a little bit. People were panicked there for a little while about, oh my
Yep.
God, where's it all going? But I think we've leveled out a little bit. Now we're coming into 2026. My concern is people are latching on to AI so hard, so
Yeah.
fast without, and again, I tease people. I go, we use AI as well, artificial intelligence as compared to actual intelligence.
Yeah.
And again, we try to blend the two of them and say, hey, listen, AI is fantastic, but don't let it be the know all, be all, see all answer. Utilize it as a tool and then be able to take the information that it provides for you, help your team, help your customers have a better experience. Don't just rely on that one thing. So I really think that 2026 is going to be that, how do we now take all of the knowledge that we've earned in 100 years of running automotive industries? How do we take that, blend in this new technology that is coming on very, very quickly,
Yep.
and get those to where, okay, it is going to help me run my business. It's not going to run my business. It's going to help me run my business. So
I
I
think
really
that's
go ahead.
crucial right there with
Yeah.
like, you as a manager, I agree with you. It's very easy when, especially when you see the success of AI, when you start using it to just go, oh, well, yeah, just run it through that and I can get it done. Right. But it should help you. It should not run your business. I think that is such a crucial statement that you just said there because so many people will just rely on it and then fall victim of the same problems that they always have had. Right.
Yeah.
Technology is always going to be technology, but you really have to allow and take the technology to allow it to propel you forward while still applying your human aspect of it. Like you said, AI is artificial intelligence. It's not real intelligence. That's great. I love that. I'm going to use that now. I always say AI, it's not artificial intelligence. It's automated intelligence right now. And
That's right.
we have to understand those limitations moving forward as well. So
So
that
Brandon, yeah, the way I really like to explain that is, and again, coming from the automotive world,
yeah.
I can give a wrench, to a technician. And according to which technician I give it to is going to be the results I get back out of it.
Mhm.
So artificial intelligence is different, on everything, on, different models. But it's really fun. I ask everyone to challenge it once. Just say, I don't think your answer is right. Could you check that again? And it'll come back and go, oh, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. And all of a sudden, what I was relying on was not the answer, not the real answer that I was looking for. And besides
Absolutely.
that, and again, if you just think about it, it's a large language model, which means that dealerships in California where you are kind of get the same answers as the dealers here in Cincinnati where I am, and they're really not the same. They don't run the same. They don't have the same processes. So let's not use AI as the answer. Let's use it as an answer,
Yep.
and a coach. And again, I love how quick it runs. I love the ideas that it gives. I love everything about it. But I still think there has to be that human element in there, that human, to say, okay, here's how I'm going to use that answer to better my dealership.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, it's funny, this conversation lines up perfectly with the next topic I want to talk about, which is NADA. We are quick approaching NADA, and I know all the people who listen on with us either attend NADA or they have been to NADA. And we have one coming up after a pretty failed NADA of last, year with the weather and the location and all that. And I think this year is going to be much better, which is great. But we're all going to see the wave of AI. Like we thought last year would be, even worse. And this year, I think it's going to be, every booth you're going to see is somebody talking about AI. So, from a management perspective, when you're going around from booth to booth, how are you going to, at a dealer, find out what the right direction is going for you? So, what I'd like to ask you, Mark, is from a dealer ops perspective, what are you guys doing to set yourselves apart from the other providers out there that are just screaming AI, 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 and taking everyone's attention?
And that's a great way to ask that question, because I try to try to make sure, and I try not to offend anybody whenever I say, listen,
Oh, I'm
AI.
all for offending. I think
Yeah.
it's the best part of this,
So
right? Let's
uh,
not hold back. Bring it up.
AI is all about the techie guys, the computer guys. Well,
Yeah,
those aren't car guys, okay? And again,
that's a good
how
point.
do we take the techie guys and blend them with our car guys and say, what do we get out of this answer? So I highly recommend, and I used to tease myself about calling it the MapQuest management program. I age myself when I say MapQuest. So let's say Google Maps, or even let's say Apple Maps
Yeah,
management program. For any of those GPS or any directional solution that's out there, you got to know where you are and where you want to go before it gives you directions in between those 2 points.
yep,
So if I just go to NADA and start walking around, holy smokes, I'm going to see a whole lot of points. Okay.
yep,
But if I go, you know what, my dealership runs pretty well, but I need to enhance it here or there, then I can go to NADA and specifically find those solutions that are going to help me fill those spots instead of recreating the entire process from ground up and having to reteach everybody how I want to run my dealerships. Let's
yeah.
find out where the problems are, isolate them, and let's go fix the problems. Let's not just completely throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great approach. And, when you really think about it, if you are just attending NADA, you're spending a lot of money to be there. Not only on your registration, but you've got your hotel, your meals, your flights, all of that. It adds up. So, with everything we do and should be doing, do it with intentionality, right? Show up and be ready for what you're looking to solve. So that's great. So you had mentioned to me not too long ago regarding something new that you guys are announcing at NADA. Do you mind sharing that? And I believe it's by the name of Halo, is what you guys are calling it.
It is. It is. And currently we have DealerOps core reporting. And
Okay.
core reporting is very numbers based. It's numbers driven. It's really great for controllers and dealers and operators that are really into the numbers. And we have found over, several thousand conversations with dealerships that can we get this layer above that and say, okay, can we summarize all this stuff and so that I can see directionally which way I am headed? And we've taken that. So Halo is the next generation. It's not just an enhancement to our core reporting, it's completely new generation. It's in new technology, it's a new hardware. It has a very robust dashboard summary layer to it. And the nice thing about it is it still has all the capability of core right behind it. So any one of those dashboards you're looking at, you can click on it and drill down layer by layer, peel that onion back to say, okay, I'm looking at my fixed operations department. My number of hours look great. However, my effective labor rate looks low. And
Hmm.
if we all understand how that math works, okay, how am I paying compared to how am I charging? So let's peel the onion back a little bit. Now we're down. Now let's take a look at I'm looking at my advisors. I'm looking at my actual departments among my organization. I'm looking at my technicians. I'm looking at how these things were charged out. And then I could peel it back a little bit further and let's look at it by labor operation. Here's the one, or here's the two or three that are causing me the problem. Wasn't my advisor's fault. They charged exactly what I told them to charge. I
Yeah.
priced it wrong from the very beginning.
That's great because, yeah, I mean, especially from a manager's perspective, oftentimes it feels like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack, right? Because especially when it comes to labor ops, like you bring up a good point. It could be one small common labor op that you're just not realizing is priced wrong. That's completely throwing your numbers off, and instead you're running and yelling at so and so advisor for not doing their job, and it's like, well, it could be something as simple as that. I love
Sure.
that. That's
Sure,
great.
and then it also can isolate some other things. Okay, I've got all of these oil changes and tire rotations that are going through the shop, but I didn't schedule it well. So all of a sudden I've got my A techs or B techs doing these oil change and tire rotations. That's driving my margins down. That's driving everything down. Let's see if we can't fix it. And it turns out that we have a scheduling problem because we say bring it in the morning. Well,
Yeah.
morning to some of us is 6 o'clock. Sometimes it's 12 o'clock. So,
Yeah.
so they're coming in whenever they want to, and we don't have a technician available for them. So we're causing our own problem. I always tell everybody, if you have a line of people at your advisor's desk at 8 o'clock in the morning, you know you have a problem. because
Yeah.
it was not scheduled appropriately.
Yep.
And again, it's very difficult to get a hold of that without the data behind it. And then to your point, you're right. There's a lot of data that you drill into to get to there. And a lot of time you're looking at the financial statement from next month, that comes out the 10th of the month next month to try to figure out what happened this month. By this time, half of that month's already gone. What do you do to fix it
Exactly.
now?
Exactly. Well, that's great. Well, I love the name Halo, and I'm sitting here looking at my Halo LED light, but I'm like, it's kind of on top of everything and giving you that oversight of it all, right? So that's great. That's great
We
to
actually
hear.
have an acronym for it. It's high powered analytics for leading organizations. So there's your
Love
halo. Look at
it.
that.
Well, one thing you mentioned early on was, where the industry's at. We have seen a bunch of large conglomerates or small enough, mom and pop stores. And I say mom and pop, but like very rarely are you seeing mom and pop dealerships anymore, which is sad, right? That's where our industry was grown and all that. But the growth of the conglomerates, the big organizations, is also a positive and can be a negative for the industry as well. But one thing I will say that I've seen is the increase of medium to small size groups, right? You're starting to see the 1 and 2 stores selling, maybe not to a big 400 store group, but they're selling to, a 12, a 15 store group. So now you're getting anywhere from 15 to 30 store groups,
Uh-huh.
which once you get to that size can be more difficult to manage when you have a corporate fixed operations director, especially if you're not flipping them all over to the same DMS. And that's what I've loved about what you guys have done at DealerOps is you're able to normalize that data in centralized area so that somebody who's running 30 locations now has a perfect insight no matter what DMS, no matter what fixed operations tools they're using, right? They can manage that data in one spot, which is something I've always loved about what you guys do there.
Yeah, and we get a lot of comments about that because we have a lot of fixed operations directors that are using CDK, and but now all of a sudden, because of the consolidation, they
Yep.
bought a bunch of stores that are dealer track or
Yep.
they are Reynolds or Reynolds, and they don't know those like they know CDK. They know exactly how to pull the reports out of CDK, but we take all that data, like you said, we normalize it. We do it as fast as every 15 minutes. So nobody has to sit there and pull the data, go ahead and manipulate it, and then make it the same and put it into an Excel document and then mail it
Yep.
to everybody and then go, oh, made a mistake. So here's version two. And then, okay, version two is wrong because I had a formula that I manually overrode and now it's not. I mean, ask me how I know that.
You speak from experience.
Personal experience with it. Yes, I've caused that pain myself, and that's what we take away. And again, we take a look at ourselves as more of a partnership role because we don't consider ourselves just an executive reporting tool.
Yeah.
We actually look at ourselves as three different tools. So the executive reporting is obviously there. That's our foundation. Here's the tools, here's the data, here's what it means, and everything else, and we assimilate it and accumulate it and get it correct the first time so that you could take a look at it. But back to our previous conversation, what do you do with that? Okay.
Yeah.
So we provide multiple layers of support with you. So we have client success managers that will actually say, hey, this is what I'm seeing in the data. Are you seeing the same thing that I'm seeing? And they go, what are you talking about? I didn't even know that report existed there. Well, great. Let me show you and your team how to use that report and what it means. So all of a sudden, we have a fixed operations director that doesn't have to go train 15 different advisors. They have a whole team of people in my staff that will actually help them get that done.
I
And
love
then
that.
we actually have our sharpshooters, or we call them our executive coaching team, that if needed, we'll send them out to the dealership. Some people learn better, tactile. Let's do it together.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that you show me face to face. We'll send them out there. And we provide, that assistance because we know that the more the dealership uses and understands the data, the better off the accountability is going to be. So I talked about it being an executive reporting tool. I talked about it being a management tool as well
Yep.
as a performance management tool. But then lastly, we are a very effective communication tool because we take the data out of the DMS. We give everybody the ability to see it. That's supposed to see it, obviously.
Yep.
And then there are notes sections so that you can actually enter notes and communicate amongst the stores, amongst the departments, amongst the levels of executives and say, okay, for example, let's say we have an open RO list. Why are these open more than 10 days? Advisors, we don't charge by licenses. And so
Yeah,
it's everyone in the dealership we encourage to be on it. Get your advisors in there, answer the questions before you ever even ask it. So
I love
that
that.
way we can skip those morning meetings if necessary. If everybody's keeping up on what they're supposed to be doing, then we don't have to have that meeting. If not, then we have something that we used to call fellowship. So-
I love that. That's actually really sweet. I didn't even realize that you guys did that. And then, I mean, like you said, then your morning meeting isn't, hey, here's the information. It's, did you see, based off what we were looking at, right? Everybody's looking at the same data in the same spot. So that's awesome. And I think one thing that I think for dealers will win more when it comes to especially like third party providers is the support side of it all. I know I've always said this that like, tools will come and go. Technology will only get better and there will be more and more of them in the industry, right? AI companies, as I've always said, are popping up like weeds in a garden. Every day you hear about some new AI company that's out there. And the ones who are going to set themselves apart are actually have client success that are actually going to work with the store and listen to the store. We put out a similar initiative of we're transforming from regurgitating data to having action items on that data and actually asking our stores, what do you want to accomplish? Right. Because I can tell you everything, that I feel you should do. But if that's not in alignment with what you want to accomplish, then
Mhm.
what does it matter? Right. And technology is just technology. So, if another tool is giving them the same information, but they're just reading it off, that client success specialist or client success manager is going to be the difference maker of who I want to stay with. I think that's going to be a big change.
Sure. Brandon, we like to say that we sell relationships. We just have to we happen to have some very good software. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's and again, that's what we do is we try to manage the relationship and then show and let me give you an example of that. When my client success managers call a dealership to make sure, if there's any questions, I've alerted them to the fact that everyone's really busy every single day. So you're going to get this answer. Yep, I'm good. It's all good. So be ready for that. Say, fantastic, because I just wanted you to see that these 7 repair orders had these exceptions on it, and I want to make
Yeah.
sure that you knew where to go find those. And they go, whoop, hold on. Now they want to go, tell me more about that. Because again, in the industry, we all get so busy, we just want to go, nope, I'm good. And
Oh,
then all of
the
a sudden,
amount of managers I've
yeah,
spoken to, exactly. You walk in and it's just, hey, no, I'm fine. I'm fine. Everything's good because they're not, maybe the fire regarding you isn't happening at that point. So they're like, no, you guys are good. Don't even worry about me. But when you're taking that extra effort, it totally makes a difference because now you're bringing topics to them that they would have never thought of, right? Or it wasn't at the top of their list at that moment.
yeah, so I just went through this with a dealer friend of mine. He did that. No, we're all good, Mark. We love your stuff. You guys are fantastic. And I go, well, that's great, but I'm calling because I'm a little bit concerned. There's a couple of these warranty claims that have gone over 60 days, and you can't collect it after 60 days, right?
Yeah.
He goes, what? so, so
Yeah.
so I pulled him right into it. He got his fixed operations director and everything else. So we were able to drill right into it right away, somebody taking their eye off the ball. And it actually started with a little bit of PTO, a little time off. They're trying to catch up. Those things aren't as important. Well, you know what? 60 days, the factory plays that game, that eventually they're not going to have to pay that. And,
Yeah.
our job is to make sure that we, hold the compliance there. And again, do it correctly, but let's hold the compliance and let's get what we're due. Because again, people just don't understand the amount of money it takes to run a car dealership. You've got warranty claims outstanding, rebates outstanding, contracts in transit. You've got reserves that are held, and other chargebacks coming back left and right. So we help to maintain all that stuff and keep it very easily accessible and very clear and very concise for all the leaders in the organization to be able to manage it.
That's awesome. So I'm gonna bring this around as we're getting close. I'm gonna bring this around
Although
to
I'm from Cincinnati, so you got to do the old Joe Nuxall. We're rounding third and headed home, right?
there you go. There we go. How does everything we just talked about regarding data and how it's affecting the manager, how does your tool and what you guys are doing positively affect the customer experience? As you know, with everything we do here at the Service Lounge, it's all about the customer and making sure that we're improving the customer experience. What's that tangible that a dealer can expect that with Dealer Ops, I'm positively affecting my customer experience?
So, and a lot of people forget that. And again, in my dealerships, I always had three rules. You either raise revenue, cut expenses, or make the customer's experience better. Okay. Because
Hmm.
sometimes you got to invest. A lot of
Yep.
times you got to invest. So imagine that I am not able to, I'm selling all these cars now, but I can't get them into the service department, to do oil changes, tire rotations, all those things. And we know that we're going to start losing them at 36 months, if we don't start them off right. What if I could see all of the sales? What if I could see all of the repair orders, all the people that didn't have, service appointments that should have them by now? What if I can then start maximizing my productivity out of my service team and also pricing it very effectively against my, competitors so that my customers don't have to go to other dealers or other, independents, in the community. They can all come to me. I can take care of them faster, better, at a much more competitive price. And I never tell anyone my price at the dealership is going to be the same as it is down at Jiffy Lube because, well, first of all, it's normally less,
Yeah.
if you really start going through all the tickets and stuff like that. But I tried to tell him, I said, the guy underneath your car is going to understand your car, and we're going to use parts that were made for your car, not made for a bunch of different cars. And my warranty is my word, and we're going to stand behind it no matter where you're at in the United States or in Canada. That's where we are going to, be able to take care of you much better than all these other ones. So
That's
I
perfect.
give dealers the confidence that their decisions are correct and accurate every single time.
Love that. That's the I could totally see now instead of working in your business, you can work on the business to positively affect the customer experience. And that's amazing.
So,
So
and I'm glad you said that because we actually like to say, hey, you're going to stop chasing data and start helping your employees serve the customers better.
love it. So let's talk about NADA. You guys are going to be at NADA. What hall are you guys in for anybody who's listening on that may want to visit with you guys?
So we're in the North Hall. You
Okay.
can't miss it. Right as you walk through the front door, it's going to be there. I believe it's 6741 is the number there.
Okay.
I could probably confirm that here pretty quickly. Let me see. It is 6718. So you'd have been next door. So 6718. Oh my God, this will be my 23rd NADA.
Wow.
Yeah. So again, I love it. And again, whenever they call it the show, it is the show.
Yep.
I remember used to take my dealership employees there, and I swore to them. I said, "Listen, on the other side of this wall, there's 5,000 vendors that swear you got to have their stuff. Don't get caught up in that, okay?" And
Yep.
now I am a vendor on the other side saying, "Hey, you need my stuff." So it's kind of fun to have that conversation with all my dealers I've met throughout my career. But come see us at 6718N. We're going to be Halo is live. It's out in the wild. We have released it. Many of our dealerships are already on it. They're giving us some great feedback. We'd love to show it, at the hall. We can do private showings. We can actually do, I'm bringing plenty of people with me that know how to show it, and they're car people. I think everybody's going to enjoy talking to the people at our booth.
Who actually know the business and know
Actual
exactly how
intelligence.
it's going to be applied. That's great. So also, I want to give another shout out. You guys are also co-hosting with us for a cocktail party. So we are actually doing a cocktail party at the F1 arena. It's the F1
Grand Prix
where
Plaza.
they
Yeah, Grand Prix
exactly, the
Plaza.
F1 Plaza, where we're gonna be having an open bar. We're also gonna be having some live, some entertainment. So we'll have a DJ, photo booth, hors d'oeuvres. So if you guys are listening on and you're looking for something to do at NADA, definitely go to either of our websites, either DealerOps or Update Promise, and you guys can register for those cocktail hours. It does not cost you anything to show up, but we'd love to have you come by, meet with us, come hear about all the new stuff going on in the industry, and just have a drink and let's enjoy NADA together, right?
Oh my goodness. I find out some of the best conversations are not on the floor. It's
Yep,
in those after parties. Whenever you get some truth serum going, and then actually have those conversations that are needed about what's going on, what's causing them pain, and what can we do to help solve that. Again,
absolutely.
I'm really looking for it. I appreciate you allowing us to be the pole sitter. Let's call that the
Yeah,
pole position pole sitter for that. And again, we're going to enjoy that. And since we're co-sponsoring, we get the drinks and you get the food. Is that it? I just want to make sure that.
We're paying for it all, but the industry's paying for it, right? We're kicking butt together, right? Well, Mark, you've provided a lot of good insight. I appreciate you jumping on here, and for everyone listening, thank you guys for the support. Definitely come see myself and Mark at NADA, and we hope everyone has a great end of the year and a kickoff of 2026. Mark, hope you have an awesome start to your year, and always great talking with you, man.
Nah, I can't wait to see you out there. You have a great, happy new year. Everyone out there, again, appreciate it. Go to dealerops.com. If you want to get a hold of me, just hit the button there. Be happy to have the conversation. I obviously like talking about the car business, so feel free to give me a call anytime.
Sounds great. All right, thanks everyone.